Hello, Wojciech Toman here. Many of you keep me asking, how do you process your photos? Instead of writing, I will try to show you in this video how did I process this particular shot taken in Tatra Mountains, Poland during sunset. Okay, first of all, it's a single exposure, not high dynamic range image, because dynamic range of the scene was pretty low, so single exposure was enough to capture all of it. Now let's go first to Lightroom, because I made some preliminary changes there. It is how the image looked originally. Well, quite a difference, but as you will see in a second, not many changes were made in Lightroom. Okay. First of all, I used automatic white balance. It wasn't the best choice because the image turned out completely blue despite the fact that it was late sunset and the light was very warm, a bit pink. So I tried to achieve this effect by making adjustments to white balance. I increased temperature to 7500 and also tint to 32. I increased contrast a little bit because, as you see, the image was pretty low contrast. Then I decreased highlights to avoid any of them being blown out, especially here, and also here. I also decreased blacks to -21 to add some extra contrast here and also in the mountains. Next thing I did was to remove chromatic aberration and also to enable profile corrections to get rid of distortion and vignetting. I then exported my image to Photoshop CS, where I made more changes. First I denoised the image using Tapas denoised and made some adjustments using Tapas adjust. So let's go first to to the image as it looked in Lightroom. First I applied some global contrast, not much, but enough to give some extra pop to the image. Okay, you see it's quite small contrast. Using linear contrast preset, it's applied to whole image. Then I applied contrast only to shadows portion of the image. You see here, in the mountains and in the valley. Okay, right here. It's also linear contrast, before and after. Next thing I did was to add some color balance to the shadows portion of the image, because it was still too blue in my opinion. It was much warmer, redder, maybe a bit of magenta was there. Okay, it is set to red 4 and -7 in magenta. Only midtones were changed. Shadows and highlights I left unchanged. And as you see, it was only applied to the shadows. Also, how do I get such detailed layer masks? Well, I use luminosity masks from Tony Kuiper's website, and they are really cool because you can apply adjustments locally easily. Next thing I did was to apply photo filter. As you might guess, it's a warming filter, and you're right, it's warming filter LBA with density of 25%, and it's applied almost to the whole image but the sky, so the valley, the mountains, and the snow in the foreground. Next thing I did was to duplicate my layer and blend it with original using multiply blending mode. It has the effect of darkening the image, thus making it more I remembered. However, I didn't apply it to the whole image, only to its portions, the brightest portions, to darken them. I didn't want to darken shadows even more. It is how it would look if I applied to the whole image. Too dark, in my opinion. The shadows are very, very dark or almost black in some places, in some areas. So let's switch back. Okay. The last thing I did was to flatten my image and apply sharpening. And that's all basically. It is how the final image looks, and I hope you learned something from this short video. Thanks for watching, and until next time.